The wheel goes
They took away the wheel.
round.
Can I be honest with you? They got rid of the wheel, and I'm really disappointed. For those of you that don't know, Facebook got rid of the wheel.
Facebook got rid of the wheel.
Yeah, there's a little thing that I'd hit go live, and there was a little blue wheel that would spin right above it.
Mm-hmm.
Connecting. And they've gotten rid of it. And now their timestamp is right again. They fixed things. I'm sure of it.
Right.
I'm sure they see it as fixing things.
We're fixing things.
That's a sickness in its own right.
Why is this one not? Say something.
Say something. Can nobody hear me?
I'm trying to make sure they can, but it's not.
I'm not there, bud.
I know why.
Why?
It did a thing. Okay, say something now.
Say something now? Yeah, no.
Say something again.
It's picking up everything on top of it all. I don't think anybody can hear me, bud.
Yeah, I got you now.
You got me now?
Yeah.
You sure?
I know what
now?
happened. Yeah, there was a button that got pushed on accident.
Oh, the
it was
shut
either
up
me
Matt
or
button.
Shug.
It was the shut up Matt
It was
button.
either me or Shug.
Oh, now you're gonna
It's
blame
not
the
a shut
cat.
up. It's not a shut up button.
It is if it shuts
It's not
me
a
up.
shut up button. No, what it does is it. I don't know actually what this button does, but it changes things.
It puts it on the other.
There's another thing to listen to, and it puts
There's
it on
there's
the
two
other.
separate. There's 4 channels, but they come out as 2, and it puts it on the other one.
I think that's what it does. I'll have to look it up
Well,
one of these days.
good news. I'm going to the doctor today.
Good news. You're going to the doctor today.
I it's constantly in my head that I'm running out of time, and my body just keeps trying to tell me that. I am pushing it to get words out.
Right.
You know, I could close my eyes. It's effort to be present, and that's okay. I don't mind that effort.
Right.
But does it worry me? Sure.
Now you know how I live. No,
Right. Well, I wouldn't be worried about the things going on if it wasn't for the parts that I feel fuzzy. That my heart is making noises and hurts
Fluttering?
sometimes. Oh, I wish. A light flutter would be okay, and maybe I'm just intensely noticing it because of the stuff I went through with my mom or whatever.
Right. No, you could. There's
It all comes from inside,
to some extent.
but is it
to
accurate
some extent,
or...
if you've worked with meditation and you've worked with your body a lot, I think you have a better gauge of what's going on with your
How
body.
about I'll state it here before we ever get there, and I'm not saying it'll happen now. It will be the upper right corner of my heart that is the issue.
The upper right corner of your heart.
Upper left corner. I'm sorry, this is my left
Oh,
hand.
upper left.
Right to you. When I think of
Yeah,
it, I think
yeah,
of it
it'd be on this side.
but it
to
is
me,
the left
yeah,
one.
It's left. Right.
that I can feel it right along this wall.
Okay. Yeah, see, like, it's funny because my cousin was telling me about some of the side effects of doing kung fu, and one of the things he talked about was you'll be able to feel specifically what's wrong. Like when your stomach hurts, it won't just be my stomach hurts; it'll be my kidney hurts. Like you'll be able to know exactly what's wrong.
Which is
It's
great
weird.
and all, but then when you go to a doctor, they don't want to hear that.
They don't want to hear that.
Well, okay,
mess.
so a few years ago I went in to go, my brain ain't working quite right now.
Right.
Because there are moments, so this is I just realized that was before all this medication, and this is more severe now, but it's the same symptoms. That there are moments where my mouth literally doesn't feel right.
What does that mean?
So you have to work to make the words right. Like I can feel the effort.
Right, going into it.
If I let myself, everything gets fuzzy, my eyes will you saw me resting my head.
Right.
That's a little unusual. But anyways, I went to this doctor to check on whether or not this was having an effect. They tested and I'm within the normal range. My mom and I joke about that.
Right.
but I wasn't. So that should be a warning sign, shouldn't it? Like, I get that I'm within whatever normal range,
Uh-huh.
but
you
I
weren't
wasn't
feeling that way.
Well, no,
Like,
you're measuring me against somewhere that I wasn't.
mm.
My brain was operating at this level.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
And now you're going,
saying
everything's fine.
You're within the normal range, but like you weren't within the normal range before. So now it's like there's a dip.
And that's not meant as a...
No, I get it.
But it's my mom and I joke about that. Because it's like you're going, okay, I'm trying to tell you something going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you've decided that because everything is within your normal range, though you had no baseline, and I'm trying to relate to you a baseline.
Right.
To go, no, there's change here.
See, my doctor isn't concerned if I'm in a normal range. They're concerned if there's a large change in my weight or something like that.
Well, the change should be what's measured.
The change is what's
right.
measured rather than what.
But
range
they don't
I'm in.
have that.
Yeah, they
spot.
don't have that baseline.
No. They
Damn.
take pictures and they go, yeah, you got some scar tissue on
Right.
your Brisane, but nothing major. No, your brain looks good.
Right.
I wish I had those pictures.
What, of your brain?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my noggin.
Well, because the interesting thing is, I mean, and then I went through all this stuff. This was before me trying to get help for my brain other ways, going to therapy or...
Right.
Not saying that the two aren't related. One isn't the same as the other. I don't mean it like that. I meant it was before I went into group therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I'm going to go to the doctor today and they're going to blow it all off.
Right.
There's going to be a reaction. But...
Are you concerned about a reaction?
No, I'm tired right now. Right now I just want to lay my head down, and I thought that I was going to have more energy today.
Right.
I really thought I was going to have more energy today. The weirdest part is because I can focus up out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like, well, why are you just doing that all the time? Because it's
Because
exhausting.
it's exhausting.
Yeah. That
I understand that. It's you feel like you're grinding against your body.
Yeah.
Fighting it.
Well, and there's a million things I need to get done currently. On top of it all, I don't have time for this.
Right.
Which is how I ended up breaking my back last time. I don't have time for this. Let me keep working.
Right.
On top of traditional corporate America pushing you to keep working.
Keep working.
You're fine. You've been saying something's wrong with your back for months. It was.
Exactly.
The narrator, like, it was.
It was. There was something wrong.
But I didn't, look at anybody and say it was their fault.
Right. It's not. You're not blame. I don't think you're blaming anybody.
I mean, I took full responsibility. When I talk about it, I pointed the two pieces of wood that I say broke my back.
Right.
Because they was heavy. You want to understand heavy? Oof.
How heavy were they, you think? Would guesstimate.
I don't know. 100.
100.
Somewhere between 100 and 2, I guess.
Somewhere between that.
And my dumbass just fluffed them up on my shoulders and walked around with them.
Damn.
I brought them to the backyard. I poured the cement. It's where the hammock is. It's the two on either end.
Okay. Those are pretty big. So.
Well, I found them at a great price. I'd love to have more of them because they're great. They really are great.
We didn't get any like that.
Actually, one cut in two would be perfect to make little benches at either side of the... Like, it would just go across over where the wood is and over the other.
Yeah.
We are totally lost in the minutia. I am so sorry.
Okay.
So, being human means there will be suffering, there will be sickness.
Yes.
You can't stop that. You can't make that not so. I know I'm not permanent. I know nobody's permanent. Nothing is permanent.
It's funny you mention sickness because like I wrote today and it felt weird.
Jeez, excuse me.
Because I haven't written anything in quite a while, so it felt a bit odd, and I almost feel like I know I'm in my head about it for a fact, but I also feel like I have like a writing sickness or something. like I feel like I'm because I'm rusty or something like that. Like I almost feel like there's a block there somewhere
I got you.
going on.
No, I agree. I
know?
understand. I was excited the other day because I was drawing.
Right.
That. So one of the tells I don't think about is the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Am I making time? So what happens is I'm not making good time for this.
Right.
Everything else falls apart from there. That if I'm not making time for this, I'm not making time to draw, because how could I be drawing and not doing this? Or how could I...
Right. I often have to feel good about the fact that I got something written down today.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And just knowing that, okay, maybe I could do some like more tomorrow or whatever. I don't know. I just know that I got something done.
There's something accomplished.
There's something accomplished, and I have to be grateful for that.
I had some of that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm grateful for kind of being able to set some pieces down.
Right.
You
No,
know?
you were drawing quite a bit yesterday,
I was.
and it was pretty good.
Well, but in addition, yesterday, what I meant was there were some things that needed taken care of.
Right.
Okay, so that piece is, I don't have to worry about that. The last 2 weeks have been pretty overwhelming. In addition to just the regular stuff going on, heart attacks, etc. Not like there weren't real life things.
Right.
I avoid putting myself... Okay, so in my head, just because I'm not physically having a great week, I don't know how to be forgiving of myself.
So, because you're not feeling good physically, you don't know how to mentally let go of that.
Right. I mean, I go, okay, we planned the beginning of August to be a little bit lighter on purpose,
right,
for promotional aspects rolling into September. So it always ends up feeling, okay, I needed that time, and somehow that time was there.
Right.
Like, I didn't make that plan before we started having that conversation.
I tell you what, when we had that conversation, once we got into the week,
Mm-hmm.
I felt so weird. Like, going into this week specifically, I feel so weird about it, because it's like, I know I want to do more, but I also know I don't know that I could handle more.
Well, that sometimes we
Currently.
need a moment.
Yeah.
And there's a thing to be said for, in our desire to see the world,
Right.
the two people we have to see is each other.
Right.
And our well-being matters to the well-being of the project,
Right.
whether we're good at accepting that or not.
Right.
Um,
Recently, this anime writer, he got healthy, well, healthier again, healthy enough that he can write again.
mm-hmm.
And my friend was telling me about how he wants to do like a couple issues and stuff like that, and he was like I don't know if he could do that. Like, we gotta make sure that he's like careful about.
Well, it is where, yeah.
Yeah, like, because he struggled through health problems and stuff
Well,
like that.
some of it may be, though, that it's an integral part of him, and not doing it hurts too.
Right. There's that
Yeah,
too.
The hard part, it's a weird it's a hard walk.
Right.
You might lose your balance. Ha, balance jokes.
I bring that up because it reminds me to keep balanced more than anything else.
Well, when we think about our 10 questions,
Mhm.
and work, play, pray,
Mhm.
they're integrated.
Mhm.
They're part of what I'm doing. You know what? On one hand, I wear the prayer to end all suffering.
Right.
And on the other hand, no, every day for me, I think of this as my prayer.
Right.
I think of it as meaningful to share space and go, you know what? No, changing the world is a real thing.
The funny part about that work, play, pray thing is that if you get one of too much of one,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll get sick.
It'll override the others.
Yeah.
Once it's at any cost and you don't think about the way it works together,
Yeah.
you become either somebody just talking, or somebody just working, or
Or-
somebody just playing and never getting anything done.
Yep.
That any of these things don't define any. So I've done a lot of thinking about the questions, and it's that none of those one things should define you.
Yes, it's a collection.
The more integrated they are, the better, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But even if they're not integrated, having all of them in your life matters.
Yes.
A work, not necessarily a job.
We were talking
A place to play.
We were talking about the 10 questions and how they're kind of meant to see the person for who they are as opposed to the sickness of the world.
Right, no, absolutely.
I feel like accomplishment and like fear, like
it's
a lot
questions
of,
without measuring.
Yes.
There isn't a yardstick.
The measuring piece is definitely a sickness, I feel like. It's something that we have to get out of.
Well, it's my argument endlessly is, I see people measuring constantly.
Right.
Everything. Not just measuring success, but measuring failure.
Yep.
Well, I failed bigger than you did. Or
Right.
I don't. It's a weird.
Yeah.
But that's the way our system is set up.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand, we by our design put things into boxes so we know what they are. In order to put things into boxes, you have to measure them.
Right.
We are obsessed with it. Endlessly obsessed.
Yes, we are.
It is a sickness. You're right.
Yeah.
That
I only realized that when I've been doing some thinking and some writing, but I realized that I don't feel grateful for where I'm at because in my head everything is negative.
Well,
and if I keep
in your head, you've decided there's a spot you're supposed to be at as opposed to where you are.
If I try not to measure myself and where I'm at right now against
anything,
where I want to be or where I expect myself to be or anything,
or Joe Blow down the street, when
then
you give up the yardstick, you're happier.
I can feel better about where I'm at because I'm at where I'm at, and I need to just sit in that. That was a bar, by the way. Anyways, I need to just sit in that and enjoy the moment a little bit. And I've been thinking a lot. Like, there's some thoughts going on.
Some
thinking.
Well, I think, therefore I am. It's only funny until somebody loses an eye. Lowercase.
Okay.
Well, I end up twixt between. It's hard for me to. I don't want to be attached to the fundraising.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be attached to the money at all. I don't want to care about it. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Right.
Everybody needs me to have something to do with it.
I'm the same way with like selling beats. I don't want to sell beats. I don't want to do it. But I also know it's probably one of my best ways to get some income in. I don't want to do it.
I know, but I'm a collaboration guy.
Dude, I don't want to. I enjoy sending out stuff and getting back, like, I made this with your beat. Like, I've had that with youth. Like, I'll send him beats all the time, and he'll make something and then come back to me and send it to me, and I'm like, dude, this is awesome. I just love that you made something with my beat. Like, I'm just so happy with that. I don't even need any monetary anything. I don't need it.
There's a joy in making music.
Yes.
There's a sickness in making it about money, because the second you start measuring it,
right.
Well, now you're trying to get the money. Can I make a thing that'll get me the money?
Right.
Not how do I get my story out, not how do I tell it becomes
it's
how do
hard.
I sound more like an angry Eminem on this song?
It's hard because I don't want to become cookie cutter. I don't want to become a thing that sells. I don't want to become that. I also know that in this world, you have to do that to some extent to reach any level of success. But at the same time, I don't want to do that shit. That seems terrible to me.
I got to measure myself against somebody else to be successful, too.
That's true.
And is it a sickness that all I want to do is... I don't want to buy or sell things.
Yeah. I don't
You
really
know what?
want
I'm
to
fine
either.
with the idea that the music should make money. I'm fine with the idea that if the podcast makes money, it goes to the studio. I'm fine with, but our nut to do this successfully is about 5 grand a month.
I will say you've infected my brain. You've successfully done it because I'm tired of money. I'm tired of thinking about money. I'm tired of even the concept of it. I'm so
Right.
tired of it because it doesn't even.
It just moves in circles. It's not going to do anything.
Yeah, it comes into my pocket and it leaves out of my pocket. Why should I care? I don't like. I don't know.
Well, we had a beautiful donation the other day.
Yes.
And how wrong am I for thinking about ad time?
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, I haven't paid the mortgage in 5 months. Oh well. And I know I'm not supposed to say oh well,
Right.
but I believe in this,
Right.
and I believe in what I'm doing. I
I
believe
s-
in doing something bigger than me.
I started sending emails. I sent one to LeVar Burton, and
I
sent
love
one to
LeVar
Bill
Burton.
Gates. LeVar Burton was one of the first people I added on LinkedIn because I saw his name and I was like, "Oh, I love LeVar Burton."
Well, Reading
So, yeah.
Rainbow, he's always involved. You know what? And
Reading
he's
Rainbow.
always wants to talk to people.
I know him from Next Generation mostly.
He did try out to be one of the new hosts for the CBS morning show, I think,
Something.
last year.
Yeah.
Personally, I think he would have been great, but
Yeah, I think he would have been.
would he have been chosen if he had worn the Geordie visor?
I maybe.
Just
you
saying.
Know, maybe.
But Geordie LaForge is such an iconic character.
Yes, he is. Cuz
That-
he's cool.
I mean, we could talk about LeVar as like his big character.
Which one was that?
Kunta
Kunta
Kinte.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
Kunta Kinte.
Kunta
I'm
Kinte.
telling you, so back in the day, there were only 3 channels. 4 if you were lucky.
Right.
So you better believe when Roots was on, everybody watched it. Everybody watched it.
Really?
Yo, fuck,
That's
yeah.
what's up. Cause I watch Roots. I used to watch Roots.
That's
when
why
it would come on.
miniseries were such a big thing. It was a big deal. I mean, it meant that you had a channel that was showing a thing that lasted multiple days. It was unusual.
Right.
I know.
Now we
I'm
do
old.
marathons and stuff, man.
Right.
There's a Star Trek marathon somewhere. There's a Harry Potter marathon. There's a Star Wars marathon somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, Disney owns all that. I doubt it's somewhere.
Actually, they probably don't have it up anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, they probably don't. They're probably all sneaky with it these days,
Yeah.
doing that Disney thing.
Yep. Streaming has really like changed things.
Well, and streaming.
I almost think it's a simpler way to do like TV and stuff because you pay once a month and then you watch whatever the heck you want to some extent. I only wish there
Pluto's
was
free.
a way. I only wish that there was a way to like do like a bundle package where you just buy like most of them.
That's called cable. Yes, we're on our way back.
We're on our way back.
And yeah, you can get a Fire Stick or a Roku or a TV,
Right.
and you put all the ones you have on it,
Right. And there you go.
and there you go. That's it. That was why Amazon tried to integrate.
Right.
They wanted to integrate everybody else so that
So that
you
they
pay for Amazon, and then you pick and choose.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Now we got a cable provider and a cable provider.
Right.
Yeah. I wish I had more energy. I don't know what's going on. And that worries
That
me.
sounds scary.
What scares me the most is there isn't enough money to make this go yet.
Right.
I'm not at a point where what can happen is I can fall off. That I can't let me get in the way of making happen what needs to happen.
Right.
And you know what? I don't know how far we'll get. Is there a livestock in our future, or will I be gone before that? I don't know.
Right.
I'm not attached to it, but do I, when I'm feeling this way, do I think about that? Sort of, yeah. You know what? This has been ongoing for 2 months at this point. I've tried to downplay it.
Do you think you think about it more and more every day?
The last couple of days have been really rough. My balance is way off. I can feel it in my head. And when I feel things in my head, that scares me.
Right.
You know, that I'm working at the present part. And it's physical and mental. Like a weight.
Right.
The balance thing worries me. I've got a swing set to build.
Right.
In general, I'm good because if I focus hard enough on things, I'm the one person who claims they have balance issues that hasn't landed on his ass yet.
Yeah, you rolled. You definitely rolled because you fell off the truck one day and then you rolled into it.
You have to you have to move the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Self-taught. I'll just kick your ass because I can. Better believe, if anybody wants to jump me in a street fight, you'd be amazed at how hard my knees are, and I don't care who you are, and I don't care what groin I'm kneeing, you're going to go down. You know, that I have very strong shins to break the legs of fat people. I got
very strong shins.
There was a time where I was looking for fights. Not that I got into them, but I would start them, and then usually they never evolved into anything. But it's kind of funny with a guy that's got sort of a pacifist outlook, and that isn't the right answer. But I'd go off on a guy cutting line. I remember there was a big dude. And he was waiting on a taxi cut in front of 10 people.
Dang.
They opened a line, and he did the walk in the door and walked up to it. I'm like, no, dude, fuck you. What, you just think because you're fat you're allowed to be mean to people? You know, the size of you is supposed to scare me somehow? I just know that means your knees are going to break easy. You know, that I was, and everybody's looking at me like...
But he said what everybody was...
Well, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's not like...
And he left, and I walked out into the parking lot, and we towed off for a while, but he got in the cab and left.
Oh, okay.
But literally, I was going through in my head how to break, which pieces would break easiest.
Right.
Word to bigger guys. I know you're bigger. I also know your knees know it. Just saying. They want to go this way so bad. So bad. Well, because there's so much weight on them.
Well, yeah. You get them in the knees.
Well, you take them...
Take them down.
You break the leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, you break the leg.
Then
if they come at you, break the leg, you call the cops, and you hold them there and have them arrested.
I learned most of the stuff I actually learned in Kung Fu is self-defensive attacks.
Absolutely.
And my favorite one is the shovel kick. It's called something else, but the shovel kick is pretty much just if there's someone in front of me and their knee isn't like, all I have to do is turn to the side and kick them in the knee, and they're done. They're done. And neutralized.
On a fat dude, you want to go like, would you do the same thing
on a fat dude or a tall dude?
Instead of the front of the knee, hit the side. Like you want to hit kind of corner
side. Angle.
So like the 90-degree angle in a space that it was never meant to happen.
it'll like swivel around. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll look really bad.
Look bad.
The other one is it's easy to break a nose, and most people can't keep fighting if you break their nose.
Really?
Well, it's an explosion in your head, and there's blood everywhere. And unless you've been in a fight...
Unless you've been there, you can't really just keep going with that.
Well, and you don't have to, you don't have to do all that where you're trying to kill them. A swipe with a hand and then an elbow.
Right. This is coming from two people who don't like fighting, by the way.
I've been a pacifist since I was 13.
I don't like fighting. It's not... It doesn't interest me.
I did have a knockdown, drag-out, Kung Fu style bad movie through the red light district of Thailand one time.
Really?
Including the traditional throwing into tables because there was a market down the middle.
Okay.
And we sucked. And every so often we'd square off and knee each other and beat on each other, and then he'd or something, and I'd grab him, and we started it I think the KFC and the McDonald's, or maybe the other way around. For those of you that don't know, or used to be, Pat Pong, the main red light district in Bangkok, used to have a KFC at one end and a McDonald's at the other end. I'm not saying they don't now. They probably do. Things don't change that quick in the red light district. But, yeah, no, I had a fight like that.
Did you ever have, like, a bond with friends where it was like, if you guys had a problem, you fight it out?
Friends.
Not like you fight, but you like.
No, not really.
Okay.
The sickness I have is everybody thinks I'm good at bonding.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see them and they're not used to that.
Right.
In reality, I'm aromantic and I don't bond. I love everybody.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I'm bond. I don't mean that the way it sounds, but that oftentimes it can be an overwhelming feeling like people feel it, that I want to be present with them, which is an unusual thing for them. But meanwhile, I moved a lot as a kid. I'm really good at the part where people go, oh, he's a good guy, and I'm okay in their space and all of that. But I'm also used to the idea of don't get too attached, because that's how people hurt you.
Right.
That the people you love are the ones that stick in the knives because they know where to stick them.
I'm having a hard time getting back to where I used to be as far as socially.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting to a point where I can conversate and not feel like any pressure.
I want everybody to know that only black people say conversate. I don't know why. It's an interesting thing that I've found in my travels. No, I just love pointing it. It's like, it's proper, it's correct. There's no debate. It's like listening to somebody from England speak. They'll have a different word choice.
Yeah.
So I've always every time conversate comes up, I'm like,
instead of the trash can. Right.
Well, pop versus soda.
Yeah.
So you were conversating.
Well, when I was in New York, I was encountering people every day.
Right.
Just at school. There was 5,000 kids. I'm gonna meet a new person every day.
It's a reality.
And for some reason, I didn't have any expectation when I met new people. I didn't have any.
And that opens the world.
Yeah, it was so.
If you're just interested in what they're gonna say instead of deciding what you hope they say.
Right.
It's like, oh.
And for some reason, when I moved back to Columbus, I think maybe it might have been the time that I spent in the house, but I just, now that I go out, I don't have that same, there's a lot of fear built up about talking to people and just, like I said, conversating. And there's a lot, for some reason, there's a wall there where I'm like,
well, but you recently, I mean, you went out
I'm
last
trying
Saturday
to get around
and
it. Yeah, it was a little smooth. It took me a second to get there, but I was getting to a place where I could kind of talk to people.
I think it can be hard on people being in a room I'm in. There's a lot of shadow.
Right.
There's a lot of. There isn't anything I don't have something to say on.
Right.
Doesn't mean I'm attached to it, but there isn't anything I don't have something to say on.
Right.
So it can be easy to, and I don't mean lean on me. Lean on me.
Yeah.
Lean on me, that's cool. I like that.
Lean on me.
But that it can be hard to step out of that shade.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, okay, so we go to meet somebody like Jay, who musically the two of you have more in common than I have in common.
That, yeah.
But the reality is the conversation ends
was,
up being with me.
Yeah.
And not that in the moment I'm having that issue, but
right.
when I've thought about you out doing the stuff you're doing, I've felt really good about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've mentioned it to friends that I feel like that's something you need.
Right.
I don't mean to be projecting a need onto you.
No, I got you.
But that it's meaningful to me that you're more comfortable in those spaces. That it was really meaningful to me today that you were working on how to present an email using available text plus adding you.
Yes.
I hope you never stop doing that.
I hope so too, because I feel like I struggle with autonomy a lot, because I'm not. I'm used to being on my own, but I'm always used to someone being there to help me, though.
Well, not even there to help you. You're used to there being somebody there to judge you and tell you what's right or wrong.
Yes.
And so what happens is sometimes I will feel like, wait a minute, I'm not in judgment, but because that's your go-to, I'm the authority figure in this house. We all know it.
Right.
It's a good thing and a bad thing.
Right.
See, I don't want to be anybody's asshole. I don't want to be I don't want to be anybody's magic. I don't want to be anybody's illusion. I don't want to be anybody's, all those things that you are for people.
Right.
Including the part where it means I'm the one in charge. Because I don't like the job of asshole. I don't like being the guy that has to tell people the things they already know.
Right.
Because that's a lot of that job.
Right.
It's going, hey, by the way, I'm not stupid. I see you, and this is what you're doing.
Right.
What a dick. I mean, don't get me wrong. We need that dick.
Right.
Somebody's got to do that.
Somebody has to do that. Yeah.
I'm opposed. I'm opposed to being able to get words out. You can, if you listen closely enough, you'll hear spots where words go blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's that my tongue is not doing what it. It's the words not fitting right. I don't know how to describe it.
Do you feel like you're saying something different than what you want to say?
No. I mean, I can focus, and I'm. It isn't like my thoughts are all over the place.
Right. It's more that.
But the thoughts are dull.
Your speech or. Oh, okay.
The thoughts are not as sharp as I would like them to be. They're there, and I can access them, and they can be sharp thoughts. I don't mean that.
Right.
But yeah, I'm struggling with this.
I often struggle to say something poignant, which is why I default to either agreement or a question. You know?
Well, I think of part of what we do is sharpen each other's words.
Yes. I think us doing this 3 times a week, and I think that keeps us sharp.
Oh, absolutely.
It keeps us and especially I've noticed that when we have another person, our rapport gets even better. Because now we feel like it's like we almost feel like, or at least I feel like I have to like not perform, but like I have to be on when there's a person.
Yeah, it's not a performance, it's I need to be present.
When I'm here, it's more like a conversation that I need to be present for. But when I'm with when there's a person added in, it's like, oh, I gotta do my job. Yeah,
Right. No, I get what you mean.
You know?
That it. Well, okay, so we've had one interview ever where somebody felt by the end of it that it had gone off the rails.
Right.
And it was the weirdest feeling because I was trying to do my job and stay with her.
Yep.
Because I care, not because not because of the. It's not, the weird thing is I'm doing my job, but it's not because of the show.
Right.
That what you're talking about is there's another person in the room, and it's not that the stuff is set up different.
Right.
We feel the presence, and there's that's right, we need to be doing our job.
Yeah, it's like there's a person waiting in the lobby, and you gotta get some work done.
Well, and one of the things we're talking about is doing a longer form show where we do multiple people coming in.
Right.
You know, Graham Norton meets The Tonight Show meets.
Right, you could even have them come at the same time, and then have one sit in that chair, and then go over.
Well, my thought is, I don't know yet.
Well, we don't know. Yeah.
I don't know how I gotta play with the cameras and set up the couch right and all of that.
All that jazz.
I'm getting a tiger for in there. Just the holes are just
Tiger
big enough every so often the paw reach out and get you.
Paw reach out.
It would be fun if there was something back there. Maybe we need hedgehogs.
Hedgehogs?
Yeah, hedgehogs. I was looking at hedgehogs the other day.
I reckon we should get a platypus.
Don't get a female one; they're poisonous.
Okay, so not a female platypus, but we'll get them.
Okay, let's talk about how ridiculous the platypus is. You want to laugh at life. It's funny. So I was in the middle of a thing yesterday, and I've made it clear that I saw it as an amazing opportunity, and I'm not looking back on anything with regret.
Right.
Because that'd be ridiculous. Look at that's ridiculous. Okay, relative to the price I paid for the lessons I learned and the people I met, this is cheap.
Right.
Because I don't measure in dollars, I measure in the relationships.
Right.
Well, those relationships are still there. I didn't lose them.
Right.
You know, that it's an interesting. The point is that it's all ridiculous and you should laugh.
Even the sickness.
Well, even the platypus. A venomous female platypus. I don't even.
Just the female one.
I know that it's been kind of a low energy show. Those of you out there, I apologize. I am working on that. You know what? We're 40 minutes in, and I'm going to tell you that I love you, and that we'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to go to the doctors, and I love everybody.
Yeah.
All living things, top to bottom of the food chain.
Everybody's awesome.
Right? Everybody's awesome. I just want to lay my head down.